I felt object and not subject. Object that was crossed by 1,000 stimuli.
The process during the task, one moment happened in my mind that I think, oh yes, I didn't do that, or it's a long time I'm not used to be in that moment, in that part, in that feeling.
I wasn't in control of my movement.
I think there would have been a lot of times where I did do new movements because a lot of the tasks I've never done before, so it would have created new stuff.
I felt manic. I felt like whenever I blinked, there were thousands of opportunities or possibilities to explore. Everything was happening too fast for me to comprehend, and it was in this instant where I felt so out of my body and in the space because my brain was so behind to my eyes, senses, and body that they weren't even attached anymore.
Because a lot of them were so fast-paced or like required a lot of thinking that it was just constantly
I never really got to know which kind of innate energy there was in each of us, and it always fascinated me, but made me helpless. Not of myself, maybe as well, but of others.
So out of breath because I felt like I couldn't miss a moment that made me go even faster and faster out of my own control.
Gave hints and prompts. I didn't have so much knowledge about different ways to help yourself improvising, so it was very useful. Because some were new and some weren't, but at the same time I didn't remember them or all of them. So yeah, it was very useful.
Some of my energy, nice, which I don't know why I have it. I don't know why, but I think, why does it have that kind of nature? Why does it come about like that? Why does it grow up like that? Then I think about two people living the same situation. The reaction is different. It is nature, power, reaction, hope, helpless, me, the other.
I said all of this I felt because in the moment it wasn't me. Just when I was alone, I put together what happened to me and that it was me.
It is useful to be aware of what's around me. How can I let myself be influenced by the surroundings? How much do I let it move me?
In the constant attempt to alter even slightly what I am, I ask myself, do I change it because I despise it? Because I'm bored of it? Because it has negative implications? Because I feel like I could feel better changing it?
My body as a space, what does it mean? If I think about having just my body as a space to use, I feel I need to touch it. I disconnect in a good way from the materiality of it, and in order to use it, I need to reconnect to it. The thought of having my body as the only space available makes me feel the need to look for a sense of disorientation.
What I found really useful was how the session was put together. I feel like the tasks at the end were more complex, but how you kind of brought us into that mental mindset at the start allowed me to like enter the tasks more freely. So for like example, what the task we did where we had to like look at objects around the room and constantly change our focus, but let that kind of direct what we do. I found that hard because like in that split second I just couldn't look at like a little part of the light or the wall in the studio theatre, versus when we then looked at each other and got influenced by each other, I found it so much easier because there was so much more to it that I could take a bit from it if it was the dynamic or the actual movement.
The difference between the two tasks we played with, the one of being inspired by the surroundings and the one where we were focusing on our body, was substantial. In the second one, I had any kind of control over my body. What I suddenly saw or heard was for me an input that helped me to completely twist what I was doing. In the first, instead, there was...
I feel like at the start I was really aware that I was in my head, so I was like, oh, you have to think about this in like an abstract way, or kind of thinking to kind of predict the outcome. But then towards the end I was like thinking, but kind of subconsciously. I knew what was happening, so I just let my brain think, but I wasn't in control of what I was thinking.
Even only keeping improvising for a certain amount of time was already useful by itself. And I'm not used to use just one body part at a time, so it was really interesting to try it out. To be honest, I got influenced by your own way of doing it, but then I also thought and asked myself, how can I do it in my own way? There were moments where I thought that I've never done that movement before, or if I did, I wasn't aware, or it was choreographed. During the session, I was thinking a lot. I didn't think about the purpose of the whole research, but I was really focused on each task and each way of moving, and I was really working on it.
It could be silence, a lot of wind. It could be yellow and just its fruits. It could be a jellyfish that flies under countless liters of water. It could be what it is not and what it cannot be. It can be hot dark. It can be whatever I want. It could be that I don't want it to be anymore. It could be that it's not milk. In another place. It can be and have. I want cows and a lot of yellow.